Hey there, you're listening to the Superpower Radio Show with your host, Brenda Major, and
Mia Dawson.
And we just love bringing you this supportive environment for folks who are caregivers of people with superpowers. We know that there's no such thing really as normal. And we know that there are people who have special challenges, but they also have special and unique gifts, and so do their caregivers. And so we are here to support you, to share, and to learn. And we are going to learn a lot today from our special guests. We have returning with us Dr. Brooklin Gervais, and she's brought a friend, Skylar Easson. This is kind of our back to school edition, and they have written the most incredible children's book, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But we just want to welcome you to the Superpower Radio Show.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So we've heard some of Brooklyn's amazing story, and that deserves a book too. So I hope you are working on that one. And we, again, it seems like we've known you guys forever, but we really just met a few days ago. But tell us a little bit about how the two of you met.
Yeah, so it's a funny story. I was working on a mural. I just happened to be in South Chicago working on it on a day off work. Like, it wasn't even in my plans to be working on it that day. I just woke up and was like, today's the day I'm going to go work on this. And Brooklyn just happened to walk by, noticed me in my element, painting, humming with my little earbuds in. And she stopped me and asked, are you an artist? To which, of course, I thought, duh. But I think it was just her way of, like, breaking the ice. And we started talking, and she asked what kind of art I had experience with and if I'd ever done illustrated characters, which I had not. But I am a multimedia artist. I like learning new things and trying new things. So she started sharing the mission of the Kenna Foundation with me, which very much interested me as a woman and an artist. And she gave me her number, told me to reach out. I think my response was, I'm 99% certain I'll reach out to you because I can't fully commit to someone I just met on the street. But later that day, I shot her a text message, and here we are a little over a year later with our first published book.
Wow. Cool. Now, Brooklyn, how long had the Kenna Foundation been in existence before you decided, okay, here's the next thing on my checklist, book, and let me find this illustrator?
So I was doing independent consulting work, and I also had another colleague that I was working with as well. So 3 years prior to Sky coming aboard and doing that, I actually had talked to a former superintendent and told him I wanted to make a foundation for the school. And then at the last minute, I kind of went in a different direction with it. And not doing it for the school, but doing it for the world globally, because my dream was just that big, and really helping at-risk girls and girls that were experiencing challenges. So that's how that came about. We were in existence a few years prior to that, but with Sky coming along, it's really helped to stitch everything together. Like, she is the glue that kind of holds us all together.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
What made you decide that it was her? I mean, there are lots of people doing murals and, graffiti artists. And what?
That's a really good question, Brenda, because I was at home and I just got a really, 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 really strong feeling to go to the store. And I was like, I've already been shopping. I don't need to go anywhere, but I couldn't shake this feeling. I had talked to 3 or 4 other artists before that.
Oh.
And I actually had one who, excellent artwork, fabulous artwork. I was going to go with her and I was going to call her that day.
Oh,
And I just felt this need to go to the store. And I just said, forget it. I'll just go because it was bothering me. And I went to the store and I was at the checkout and my card wouldn't go through. And I didn't know why my card wouldn't go through. And the guy kept trying to run my card. I had walked past this mural thing before. She was not out there. When I was leaving the store, that's when I saw her up on this ladder. And because I have this stuttering thing, I didn't know what to say to her. And I just asked her if she's an artist. And then I felt so stupid asking her if she was an artist because clearly she's on this ladder. But the thing that made me go with Sky is that when I got back to the office, my executive director, Shauna Randazzo, said, I showed her to Sky's portfolio. What we were looking for were people to draw characters. And we also have an adult coloring book, a wellness coloring book that Sky's working on. So Shauna wanted a particular type of mandala. I don't know, am I saying this correctly, Sky? Mandala wheel. And none of the artists ever had that. I needed someone to draw the elephant because the elephant is very important. And so when we went through her portfolio, the thing that she had was an elephant. And she had a mandala wheel. She had all of this artwork that we were looking for. And she had majored in psychology and art.
oh, wow.
She hit all of the check boxes. And she has become one of my closest and dearest friends.
Oh.
So she
Like, my answer to that is like energy and divine timing, like things just align sometimes and it feels right. And even though digital illustration isn't and has never been my main go-to art practice, like it just all aligned still somehow. And we're making it work.
Wow.
Cool.
So what was the inspiration behind the Ellie and Brigid series? And particularly because I love this book, The First Day of School.
So my birthday always fell on the first day of school.
Oh, really?
And so I never had any friends on the first day. If we had moved or I had transferred. And so it's challenging for those of us with unique abilities to make friends and be seen as normal, whatever that means. And I wanted to write something that was about the first day. Then I started thinking about all of the children I had known and some of their challenges that they have. Well, the Kenna girls, those girls that get inducted into the Kenna Foundation have to identify a social impact project. One of the girls' name is Brigid. And Brigid, her challenge is anxiety. And so we chose a bumblebee who buzzes around with anxiety and has some anger issues. And I thought, well, if a bee is angry, maybe they would sting you. And so the stinger becomes important in that as well. Not only is it the anxiety, but also we have to learn to calm ourselves and use some calming SEL and wellness strategies. Sometimes children don't know how to do that. And so Brigid and I talked about it. So we worked on it and put it out there. One of the challenges that children face is student voice and advocating for self when we are unique. And so in the children's book series, there are many characters, and all of them have what society would perceive as a challenge. And so we watched the characters work through this and effectuating compassion and kindness and using wellness strategies. And Sky, somehow, I don't know how she does it, she is able to bring that to life visually with her images and her artwork. I don't stand over Sky and say, I want it to look like this. I tell her the character, and divine timing and natural gift, she runs with it, and voila.
No, that's interesting, because I was going to ask you guys to describe your collaborative efforts. How do you work together? Sky?
Yeah. So I was going to say there is a little bit of back and forth, right? Because Brooklyn is the visionary in this whole thing. Like she brings the ideas, she brings her vision, but I have the visual art background and expertise to be able to bring that stuff to life. But with the books especially, it definitely starts with the character development. I mean, that's almost most important in these books is the characters and discussing their background story, any physical attributes they might have, seeing the actual person that they're possibly based after really helped me as well. Personifying these animals, but not in like a weird way, still in an anatomically correct way. But still personifying them. So once I'll have the characters developed, reading through the story, deciding what images would be the most impactful to support the story, where they'll be placed, what the setting will look like, and then where those images fit best in the manuscript. And then repeating this process a couple of times, because with this story, I mean, last year around this time, we thought we had it all done. We go through it and we're like, no, we need more color. So I had to reevaluate every image to make it really pop and add more elements. So we go through it a few different times, but the collaboration back and forth has definitely been necessary to get it where it is.
We spend a lot of time together. That's what she's saying.
Okay,
So we
I get it.
discuss it. I minimize it a little bit, but we do discuss it. But I feel as though because in my head it's a jungle. All the characters, they live in a jungle, right? So trying to communicate that she speaks Brooklyn. Let's just call it that.
Okay, that's
Basically,
important.
I read her mind.
Well,
and
I
then I
think
draw.
you tapped into something too. When we started writing our children's books, I had my young niece, who was about 7 or 8 at the time, reading them over without any illustration, and she didn't care whether they were animals or people. And I think that's the beauty of what you've been able to do. I mean, I can look at Ellie and I see an elephant, but I also see a person. So, and I think your collaboration is definitely working. Can you tell us, what some of the responses from kids has been to the books?
I was in a beauty salon actually a couple of months ago, and there was an 8-year-old. And she was waiting for her mom. I guess this is not really a beauty salon. It's we call them spas, right?
Okay.
So mom was getting a facial and a massage or something. And so I saw her, she was sitting there. I happen to have a copy of the book on me. So I pulled it out, gave it to her, and her name is Bella. And so Bella was reading the book, and she came back and gave me her feedback. She was enthralled and just taken by the imagery. And she kept running around saying, I'm Bella the Bumblebee. I'm Bella the Bumblebee. I'm Bella the Bumblebee. And so that has been the reaction that kids like it. They also like the bonus coloring book pages at the end of the book. They said it's a way of expressing themselves. And so it's been very positive. Our feedback online has been 5-star. People think it's adults and children both think it's very beautiful. That's been the term. Beautiful. I like that. I like the way that the bumblebee stood up for themselves.
Now, do you guys have the
and
books?
other characters.
Do you
I'm
guys have
sorry?
the books in the schools? Do you guys have the books in the schools so that the students, because I can see this very inspirational and helping students, especially, getting ready to get back to school and everything.
Right. So it is a social story. It can be used as a
Correct.
social story in the classroom.
Yes.
So there are 10 books in the series. And so
Okay.
we're releasing them, we're staggering the release. The next one is Orpheus the Ostrich, Anything is Possible. And then we have Clark the Cricket, and then we have Secrets and Circles. And so there are lots of opportunities for schools to get these into their schools. I did have one superintendent ask last week that they wanted to buy a set for the school, because that is something that they're working on, is compassion, character, kindness, bullying. And I explained not all of them have that in it, but there are elements in there. It's always going to be centered on the child. And it's always each book is going to be centered on A, the child, B, strategies to help the child. And then I infuse a little bit of science in there. So when Sky was talking about drawing insects and animals, she has had to go back to her science days and figure out, how many arms does a cricket have?
How do I put track pants on an ostrich?
Did you?
She did.
Doing
She
it.
did track pants, a whole tracksuit on an ostrich. And this modern day kid, Bob the Bat, one of the characters, he's on the front in the circle of friends. You may see him. He has earbuds in his ear because Baba listens to hip hop music all the time. I won't tell you what his unique challenge is, though.
Okay, you're gonna make me buy the book, which I will. So for both of you, what advice would you give to parents of superpower kids who are gearing up to go back to school in a few weeks?
Yeah.
Well, Sky and I talked about this, and being a parent of a kid, when you're a parent of a kid, you take your most treasured gift and you are actually sending them out into the world.
Yeah.
I would say to a parent, and I can speak to both sides, right? So, I would say to a parent, resources. Know the teacher, get the phone numbers, make sure everyone has a copy of the 504 or an IEP or the ILP. I know I'm using a lot of alphabets. Individualized education plan, individualized learning plan, 504. Make sure that you know your rights. You're going to be the biggest advocate for your child. Make sure that your child knows their rights. If they know that they're supposed to go to the office and get their medication, get a booster, or go to the nurse, or if they're supposed to have extended time, or they're supposed to meet with the so we need to know that schedule as parents, and that is what I would tell any parent of a superpower kid, is to know your resources, know who to talk to, and make sure that you show your face. Be as visible as possible. Not saying be a helicopter, but I am saying be intricately involved in the process, because education is the process.
Yeah, I don't think I could have said it any better myself. Maybe just be patient and listen. I mean, it might sound a little cliche, but we all just want to be heard, right? And even if it's not verbal, like 90% of our communication is nonverbal anyway. So listen to those little kiddos.
That's so powerful, because we know that most of the people in our audience are really keyed into that because they are parents. And some of them are just so uncertain about what's going to happen with their child, particularly their superpower kids, when they send them off to school. So that is such valuable advice. I got to ask you two, what's been the most rewarding thing about working together on this important project? Not only the books, but also the Kenna Foundation.
So for me, I would say using my creativity for a purpose greater than myself is definitely extremely rewarding. I went to school for fine arts, but then during and after I was working in different customer service industries, and you don't quite get those opportunities in those jobs. So serving a greater purpose, and also finding mentorship and friendship in Brooklyn, my boss, you don't find that very often. So I get a special
True.
type of support through my job that a lot of people don't get. And that's very rewarding to me.
Wow, you're making her cry over here.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for us.
And I did not pay her to say that.
I see it, I know. Your heart
Yeah.
speaks. What can you say?
Yeah.
What do you,
I don't even want to say anything behind that.
because you're gonna cry.
Because I'm going to cry. Sky has changed my life.
Hmm.
She has for the better. And she just keeps adding to it. And I am honored to work with her every day. I am so, now here comes the, I am so honored to work with her because she gets me. And I would like to think that I get her as well. And I want her to be as creative as possible. And bring her thoughts and ideas, because I don't see it all. And if you check that little benchmark section on my IEP, so 80% of the time, I'm going to defer to my illustrator in helping to bring, thank you for laughing, Brent, helping to bring those characters to life, inside of the jungle where things can be a little bit, so.
I mean,
That's
you can tell again from reading the book, and I read a lot of children's books, and you can tell when the illustrator and the writer are not connected, and
right.
The story just doesn't flow. But this one, there's such a synergy between you. So since you know each other so well, we always ask this question of guests on our show, and we're going to do it with a little twist. We're going to ask Sky, tell us what you think Brooklyn's superpowers are.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Put me on the spot.
Yeah, well, she's going to get
Brooklyn.
I kind of said it before, right? Like she has the vision. Like she is the visionary. She's always coming to the table with new ideas. So if she could have a big third eye plastered on her forehead, she would. But also manifesting these dreams and goals, right? Like where we are now was just a vision once, and she's able to manifest me into her life, and I her as well. But those tools of belief in yourself, the vision, the manifesting, all bringing things from creation to fruition is a huge superpower that she clearly has.
Wow. That's awesome. I don't know if she's able to speak, but Brooklyn, what would you say are some of Sky's superpowers?
She has a mighty, mighty marker and crayon, I'll tell you that. I actually, Sky is this, she has a superpower of bringing calm and clarity to any situation. If there is chaos or trauma or anything like that, she has this, it's like this big golden purplish ball of fire that just emits from her and just brings calm to any situation and clarity, objective clarity. It is this energy that you can even see in her artwork and all that she does, and she is never changing. She is authentic from start to finish.
Wow. That almost made me cry.
She
Like
is.
I said to Brooklyn earlier, whenever I get nervous or anxious, I just tell myself, be authentically you. That's all you can really do, right? Like,
Very true. Very true. Yep.
So, ladies, I know that people listening want to know more about the Kenna Foundation, and like me, they want to know where we can get the books and when the next book is coming out. So
Yep.
how can they get in touch with you to learn more about what you're doing?
Okay.
passing that off to me. Okay, well, the first book is available on Amazon. I mean, if you see us out in the world, we probably have a copy on us as well, but right now it's just being sold through Amazon. If you want to get in contact with us, our website is thekennafoundation.org. We have plenty of ways to contact us on there. The next book, Orpheus the Ostrich, Anything is Possible. We are shooting for it to be released this fall. So very exciting, but definitely by the end of 2023. Yes. Did I miss anything, Brooklyn?
You covered it all, man. I mean, you got it like going on. And I can't wait for people to read Orpheus, the ostrich, Anything is Possible, because again, he's an ostrich that thinks he can fly. And I'm not going to tell you anything else about that. The imagery,
But you got to tell me. Okay, but Kenny,
I can't tell
We're
you
gonna have to
that.
wait until it comes out.
okay, we're going to keep in touch so we know when it's coming out.
When it's coming out, yeah.
Because I'm already obsessed with this first book. I'm ready to go back to school with Ellie.
But it's some good advice in there for Ellie and Brigid's first day of school, for all of our first day of schoolers. You know, whether you're young or old, it has a message for everybody.
And the message it's delivered so beautifully, and everybody needs it, not just people going back to school. People.
I had a 40-year-old tell me that, so yes.
My adult friends love it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies, it has been a pleasure. We're going to have you back on. So
We'll be here then.
Get ready. We'll let you know the date. This has been wonderful. I know our listeners are really enjoying this, and I know they're going to go onto your website to learn more about you and about the fire that you're bringing out in so many of these young women, and really in all of us. But we are going to have to end here for now. So listen, please keep listening. And if you want to encourage people to listen to our show, we're on Monday mornings, Central Time. We're on at 9:00, Pacific at 7, Mountain Time at 8, and of course on Eastern Time at 10. So please keep listening, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you to our special guests, Brooklin Gervais and Skylar Easson.
Thank you.
For now, this is Brenda Major and
Mia Dawson.
And you'll hear from us again soon.
Bye, guys.